Hey everyone, welcome back to another explainer. Today we're talking about something I guarantee every single one of you has felt, that heavy, completely overwhelming sensation of total mental exhaustion. You know the drill, right? You're staring at a screen, wrestling with a brutal problem, and suddenly, bam, it feels like your brain just ran entirely out of gas. Now, we've basically always been told that this intense frustration means our brain is failing, like it's literally shutting down under the pressure. But there's some incredibly fascinating new data out there on cognitive load and neural efficiency that completely flips this idea on its head. Okay, let's dive into this and unpack what we're calling the brain drain paradox. Seriously, ever hit that mental wall? You're working on something, it just keeps getting harder and harder. And you reach this point where you feel like your brain is, well, breaking. It's not just in your head, right? It's a real physical sensation of distress. But what if I told you that this specific feeling, the feeling of your brain just throwing in the towel, is actually a complete illusion?
Let's get right into Section 1, the tired student brain.
So to really understand this illusion, we need to look at the exact people researchers brought in to study cognitive fatigue. And that brings us to a very specific number, 7.63. That was the average score of the participants on the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. Now, if you're not familiar, in the clinical world, anything over a 5 basically means you're a poor sleeper. So at 7.63, yeah, these participants were clinically sleep deprived. They were literally running on fumes, which honestly makes their data super relatable for anyone who's ever tried to power through a crazy week, fueled by nothing but iced coffee and willpower. So, who were these tired individuals? Well, they were a group of 80 undergrads, mostly from the health and engineering sciences, right around 19 years old on average. And here's the wild part. Despite functioning on absolutely terrible sleep, over 91% of them still maintained a GPA over 3.5. We're talking about serious high achievers here. They made the absolute perfect guinea pigs for this because they represent a brain that's already stressed, already exhausted, but still highly capable. It basically set the perfect stage for the ultimate cognitive stress test.
Moving right along to Section 2, pushing the cognitive limits.
Okay, so how exactly do you push a highly capable brain until it basically screams for mercy? Well, you use something called an end-back task. The goal here was to push their working memory to the absolute brink. If you haven't heard of it, an end-back task is kind of like a mental treadmill. It forces your brain to constantly take in, update, and remember a never-ending sequence of items, like letters or shapes. Then you have to identify when the current item you're looking at matches one from n steps back in that sequence. It is notoriously, aggressively difficult, mostly because you literally cannot stop paying attention for even a second. The researchers essentially put the participants through an escalating mental obstacle course. Step 1 is the 1 back. Low load, pretty easy. Step 2 is the 2 back.